What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the third episode of the 135 podcast. Thomas, how you feeling today?
Just got that Friday work in. Now I'm ready for this pod.
For sure. Got that spicy chicken biscuit from Chick-fil-A. Shout out those guys in my system. Ready to go. Today we're going to talk about our reactions and takeaways from the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about a Netflix documentary, Don't F With Cats. It's pretty insane that we had to talk about. And then we're going to do a little NBA All-Star Game preview, and we're going to do our own version of the draft that happened between Giannis and LeBron James. And then we're going to talk Bachelor, of course. Then we're going to play a little bit of a game at the end, overrated, underrated. And it sounds like it's going to be a pretty good episode. Thank you all for joining us. Shout out to all the people listening. We really appreciate the reviews you've given us, the Spotify, the Apple, all the support. Can't thank all enough. So let's kick it without further ado to our boy, Booby.
Pay $1,500 for the shoes if you was asking. Don't get confused cause I'm a school, I blast you. I got a team full of shooters on the captain. Where I try and get cold in Appalachia.
Okay, so the Super Bowl, definitely better than last year, obviously.
You can say that again.
Chiefs won 31-20 on a nice little comeback. What are your big in-game takeaways, Thomas?
Super excited for Andy Reid. 21 years. I think everyone saw Travis Kelce's speech. I don't think anyone's more excited for Andy Reid than the people in Kansas City and even the Philadelphia Eagles organization. Obviously, he spent a lot of years there. I think they were very excited to see him finally, complete his goal of getting a Super Bowl. And then I think this is the start of the Mahomes dynasty. I said it on the podcast either last week or 2 weeks ago that if he was able to pull off the Super Bowl, it kind of starts a new era of the NFL. Obviously, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, those guys nearing retirement. I think it is time for Patrick Mahomes to take over.
I feel like for sure with him, first of all, congrats on you for picking the right team on the podcast on a public.
I don't miss.
But no, I feel like with Mahomes in this game, like people are giving a lot of grief for like them blowing a lead, but I feel like a 10-point lead with Mahomes it doesn't feel safe. Like I never felt like San Francisco had the momentum in the game, no matter how big the lead was. The biggest was 10, but I never felt like they had that lead with Mahomes back there, and especially with his mobility in this game. I feel like that was huge, even throughout the entire playoffs. His mobility he just took to another level, and that pass rush was obviously what it was.
Yeah.
They were getting to him, and he was getting out of there. He had hands on him all over the place, sneaking out of the pocket, making those throws. Even when they called option, like in certain situations, it was unstoppable on 4th and 1. Like as a defensive player, I was watching that and I was like, "There's nothing you could do about that." Mahomes' mobility definitely shined for me.
Yeah, I think we knew that. Obviously Kelce was going to do his thing, Tyreek Hill was going to do his thing, and they showed up when they needed to. But the unsung hero of that game, I think, is Damian Williams.
For sure,
him and Patrick Mahomes both played very good. Obviously Mahomes with the 2 interceptions, but we play college football. It's all about the next play, and he was able to do that down the stretch. And then Damian Williams was just, he played lights out. Caught the ball out of the backfield extremely well. When needed to get tough yards, he was able to stick his nose in there.
I feel like if the game wouldn't have went in a comeback mentality where Mahomes had to bring the team back into the game, I feel like Williams would have won the MVP. But because Mahomes had to put the team on his back and bring them out of the hole, I think if they would have scored throughout multiple quarters, I think there's a world where you could have the same score and stats.
Yeah, I agree.
Where Damian Williams wins the MVP. I think the MVP of that game was whoever got that pass interference after the 3rd and 15. For me personally, I'm a defensive guy. I feel like the 3rd and 15 completion was definitely insane when Mahomes dropped back and threw a ridiculous 50-yard out to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
I feel like the pass interference after that I slept on because I put them on the 1-yard line, and that's just a quick change play, and I feel like that just I think if that sealed the game to me. That pass interference happened. I hate the call, obviously, as a DB with the head turned, making a play on the ball, and to not be too biased either. I didn't like the pass interference offensively that they called on Kittle either with the one hand. That's one hand fighting. That's just a part of the game. So I feel like both sides of the game officiating and even the delay of game officiating could have been a little bit better, but I feel like that ended the game for them for sure when they put them on the 1-yard line right after that.
I think when you look at officiating, there was definitely some misses. I've seen a couple of videos with them comparing the Kyle Rudolph touchdown in the back of the end zone playing the Saints, and then right next to, and if anything, Kyle Rudolph pushed off more.
Yeah, 2 hands.
But it's it is what it is. It's arm fighting. The DB's going to hold the receiver, and the receiver's going to do whatever he can to get off of him. At the end of the day, I think both of them probably should have been no calls.
Yeah.
Especially in the Super Bowl, Kittle was going to catch that ball even without a push off, I think. I just think down the stretch, Jimmy G, I don't think he played bad.
He didn't really play bad.
No, I don't think Jimmy G played bad. I just think the 49ers lacked a bit of firepower. I think that's when you saw, we need another big name receiver. Even though Deebo Samuel played phenomenal.
Yeah.
Joey Bosa really played, or not Joey, Nick Bosa played extremely well.
How about that rookie class? Those are two guys that just got on the team this year on the draft. So.
Yeah, I think Bosa played extremely well. I mean, just super frustrating game for him because he was beating his man all night. Mahomes was just too quick and was able to get the ball off when he needed to.
The question I've been seeing all week is, like, did the Chiefs win or did the Niners lose? How do you feel about this? Or do you feel like somebody gave it up versus somebody else?
I think anytime you have a 10-point advantage going in the second half, I think you got to look at it because that's a great question. There's no right answer because obviously it takes a tremendous offense to come back with the mentality they have. But, I mean, we've seen this from Patrick Mahomes all playoffs. They were able to, just keep their head down and keep grinding it out. And
come back in every game they play pretty much.
Yeah, so, I mean, after that Texans game, I knew that a 10-point swing wasn't going to be out of the question by any means. But I think the 49ers, their play calling got a little too conservative because it's not likely Patrick Mahomes is going to give the ball on 2 interceptions. Like, if you would have told me Patrick Mahomes was going to have 2 interceptions going into this game, I was thinking, oh, wow, 49ers got this in the bag then.
Right.
But I think you got to look at the lack of explosiveness from the 49ers down the stretch.
I think it goes both ways, too. And I don't think enough people are talking about the fact that the Chiefs held them scoreless in the fourth. Mm-hmm. I mean, if I was them, I'd kind of be offended almost as a defense because they showed up when it mattered in the game.
Definitely showed up when they needed to.
And they held them to 10 up until the half. Like, they really didn't play a bad game as a defense. That batted ball was huge for them. So I feel like it definitely goes both ways. And I feel like a lot of people are attacking Jimmy and Shanahan right now because of the play calling at the end. And Shanahan obviously came from Atlanta in that Super Bowl where he blew that lead. But no one's talking about the defense in that aspect too. And with Jimmy, I feel like Jimmy played solid in the first 3 quarters. He went 12 for 13, 156 yards. He did what he pretty much did all year. Like, what his team asked him to do is just manage the game and do what he does. And let's not forget that this is his first full season as an NFL starting quarterback. So, I mean, he did what kind of you expected. If he would have made those big plays, the big Sanders plays, obviously what everybody's talking about, if he would have made that, it changes the game, and a couple throws here and there, that separates them from winning the game and making the game a lot more interesting. But I feel like you can't put all that pressure on someone whose first full season healthy playing is this year, and he made it to the Super Bowl. I think that's still pretty dang good if you ask me.
No, I mean, the 49ers will definitely be a force to reckon with for at least the next couple seasons, especially how young they are. But then you can say the same thing on the other side. The Chiefs are just as young. I don't think the 49ers were able to run the ball as effectively. I mean, they definitely had big runs and they definitely had drives where everything was going their way.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs defense was stingy throughout the night and were able to get stops when they needed to get stops.
Yeah, field goals over touchdowns every time.
Yeah,
That definitely kept them in the game for sure. And I feel like Mahomes is just brilliant. I mean, I feel like you can't put all the blame on Shanahan for calling it a conservative game when you have that guy playing on the other side of the ball. He's a tough dude to coach against. I mean, even from a defensive and an offensive perspective, when you know you have to go against a guy with such an elite arm who you know is eventually going to get the ball out and make big plays for his team, it's hard to play against. He's brilliant, and like people are giving Shanahan a lot of hate, but like most people would probably take them as their head coach if it was their team on the line. I know as a Giants fan, I would take Shanahan in a heartbeat. Making it to the Super Bowl is an accomplishment enough. That's all we have on the game, I think. Oh, real quick, who do you think won the matchup between J-Lo and Shakira, if you had to say? Was that your answer?
You know what? It wasn't, but I think I am going to go with Shakira. I knew more of her songs. I think she's a little more of a performer. Don't get me wrong. J-Lo did her thing.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely entertaining, to say the least. I think that they did really well for themselves. But I think I'm going to go with Shakira on this one.
I definitely would have thought like J-Lo was going into the matchup.
Yeah.
Then when they both kind of like went head-to-head in a little twerk off, like I think Shakira took it, and like that was just something I didn't think would happen. I think it's low-key an upset win by Shakira for this one. Definitely had the meme with the sound she made into the camera, but
date soccer players, not baseball players. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Oh, A-Rod definitely took the L for sure. He had to act like he enjoyed that the entire time.
Poor guy.
Let's just like be honest,
bro. If that's my wife up there, like, come on, like,
it's a lot of money though. It's a lot of money.
Oh, but you have to like live with her. I mean, it's not like they needed money, but I don't know.
What was your favorite Super Bowl commercial, if you had to say?
Cat Pack.
The Smart Pack?
The Smart Pack. That's what it is. Smart Pack. The Haba. I think that was the best one by far. Really good. I mean, you got Chris Evans, Krasnowski, and then
Big Poppy popped up.
Big Poppy popping out of the window. I mean, for me, that was the best one. Or the Bill. I like the Bill Murray one with the gopher.
Okay, the Jeep one.
Yeah.
The only problem I have with that one is I just don't like that car. Like, I despise that Jeep. Like,
Yeah,
that Jeep with the bed, it's the mullet of cars. Like, you look at it from the front, and it looks like a normal Jeep, and then it turns around, and it's like there's a bed back there. It's a little
I think
whack.
what got me for that one was the Caddyshack references.
Yeah, facts. The Groundhog Day Caddyshack, that was a classic one. I'm surprised you didn't pick the Post Malone one.
I had seen it already.
Oh, yeah, they do show a lot of them before. I think them having all the people in his brain, like, tattooed and stuff was a good thing. And
Yeah.
do you remember the Reese's Take 5 one? Where it was like, well, you've been living under a rock. The Jeep goes under the rock.
See, but...
That was my type of humor.
See, but like I'm kind of the same way like you are for the Jeep commercial, because I had a Reese's Take 5. My mom had it over winter
It is
break.
not that good.
That thing is foo. That is not good. I would take a regular Reese's cup any day.
Okay, so we can both agree those are good commercials for not the best product, right?
Yeah, Take 5, like ridiculous. No, not eating that.
We're gonna move on to a Netflix documentary that Thomas made me watch, like pretty much against my will, called "Don't F with Cats." If you haven't seen it, I mean, do you recommend it? Like, I don't think I could recommend
insane.
this to somebody.
Like if I wouldn't recommend it to my mom, but I'd recommend it to the like a Zach Thomas or like someone who like is big into like Criminal Minds or like criminal justice stuff like that.
I don't think I could recommend it to anybody simply because like, I don't want them thinking that's a reflection of like the things like I enjoy watching.
I definitely didn't enjoy like the dark side of it.
No, I didn't.
But
I didn't feel comfortable.
But as far as like an entertainment standpoint go, like it definitely catches your attention.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like completely comfortable watching a lot of it. Like, it's crazy. All right, so if you want to watch it, there's gonna be some spoilers, so you can just skip ahead till we talk about All-Star stuff. But like, we're gonna spoil some stuff right now and just talk about it and get into it. So basically, to go through what it is, so this dude is online. This is so messed up. Dude's online and he tortures animals, and they're cats predominantly, and he does terrible things to cats. He kills them, and like he posts them on YouTube, and then his videos get traction, and then like this Facebook group is created to like try to find this dude. And the Facebook group consists of like just these random people from across the country, the world, pretty much.
Yeah.
All who just live normal lives, have normal jobs.
I don't know if they're normal. They're pretty freaking weird.
Okay, they're a little weird. They have good intentions, though.
They have good intentions. Like their goal is to go out there and pretty much catch this guy. So like they're like a self-formed like FBI group that has no jurisdiction or anything.
Yeah, most of them have like aliases. Like the girl's name's Body Movin'.
Yeah.
And this John Green guy. She works at a casino, and I don't know what the other dude does, but like they're in this group, and like they see the videos, and they're like really getting into the videos where like they're splitting them frame by frame, and they're like looking at the wall outlets to see like what country he's in, and like looking at a pack of cigarettes they see on a counter, and like the vacuum he used, and like all this different stuff to try to search this guy down. But then as this keeps going on, like the person who does it like pretty much invites them to find him. He's like gives them the name Luca Magnotta, gives them the name to search, and like that's how they find out that's the dude who's doing it. And then pretty much they're just trying to find this guy throughout the whole thing. He keeps killing cats, and then he eventually kills a human being. Like,
yeah.
Super messed up.
No, it's brutal.
And then they try
brutal the way he does it.
They try to get the authorities involved, but then like they don't really listen to him until he kills a human being, and that's when they get involved, and that's when like the FBI and like all these people are trying to like find this person. It's really messed up. The dude's super messed up, and the chase is insane. First of all, John Green, the dude. There's one of the dudes in the Facebook group named John Green. He was on like Google Maps, like looking at the architecture,
like going street by street, trying to find where this dude posted a picture.
Doing insane stuff, so much time on his hands, and like I don't know how at the end of this documentary the FBI didn't hire him, right? Like he has to have a job. Like he was
one would think,
dude.
One would hope.
Dude
like
pretty much found this dude like in his own basement, and like FBI had all these resources, and it took them a little bit longer.
Yeah,
that was insane. My main question, I guess, for you in this is like, so the video dropped, and then they created this Facebook group, and they like brought attention to the videos of the dude doing these terrible things to cats. Do you think that's what contributed to him like taking it so far as to killing a person?
I mean, he was definitely a narcissist. I mean, just seeking attention, but at the same time, like, who's to say like if they didn't get attention, like, would that have stopped him? I mean, people like that, people like so like just messed up in the head will do like anything for attention. So I don't know like if he would have just escalated it more, like regardless of him getting attention or not, but because he wasn't really getting like national or like news coverage until they found the body.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously he had this Facebook group following him, but I mean, I don't know. That's always a tough question.
I think from his perspective, like he joined the Facebook group as like a fake alias and pretty much tipped them off to him and like gave them the name to search. And I feel like he wanted to be chased. Like I feel like he wouldn't have done it if he wasn't chased, if there was no Facebook group, if no one was really giving this attention, and people were like, oh, this is just messed up, exit out of it. I feel like it may not work out the same. That's just the messed up thing about the internet these days. I feel like it's just that's what it opened my eyes to, like, the effects of the internet. And they even talked about it, like the body moving girl was like wondering if like maybe she was contributing too much to like chasing him and making him something worth chasing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. There's just so many, like, so much gray area when you're dealing with, like, the psychology of people. Like, who's to say, like, because this dude, like, when they went in and, like, talked to his mom, like, obviously, like, your mom's not gonna think, like, anything, like, wrong of you, but they find his mother, and she's, like, saying, no, like, you have the wrong guy, and then she's telling him, like, he's telling the cops this backstory of what's actually going on.
Yeah.
And he uses, like, what's interesting about him is he uses, like, these movies that he watched as a kid.
Yeah.
And he pretty much, like, creates this, like, movie of himself. So, like, where he creates a fake character. I mean, obviously this is going to be a spoiler, but he creates a fake character they call he calls Manny. Like, goes to, like, several different psychologists, tells his mom about this person, Manny's making him do all these things. But then at the end, like, they compare him to, like, this character from this old-time movie. I can't remember the name of the movie.
Neither do I.
But there's, like, several references from it, like how he acts, like, when he's being interrogated. He'll cross his leg, light a cigarette, just like this character from a movie. And it's when you watch it, like, I would really, like, recommend, like, if you're interested in, like, these kind of, like, criminal behavior shows and stuff like that, like, give it a watch, because it really, like, speaks volumes to, like, how dangerous people are, and B, how just messed up the world is, honestly.
For sure. And, like, yeah, back to what you were saying about the whole Manny thing. Like, they find the dude, but then, like, he starts saying, like, it wasn't his fault. Like, someone made him do these messed up things to the cats and eventually to a person.
Yeah.
So there's a whole time where there's, like, pretty good evidence as to, like, there is another dude who's making him do these things, and, like, there's another person's hand appears in the video and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But then they reference a movie that has, like, parallels to, like, the same exact thing he was doing, and then, like, this person is a person in the movie too. Do you think the dude did it all by himself, or was there actually, like, another person involved?
I think he did it all by himself, because then obviously, like, the FBI, they track him down. He's in Canada. The Canadian police do, like, heavy searches for the guy they call Manny, and there's no evidence of someone, like, they have his full name, not just Manny. Like, there's no evidence of that person like that ever existing. And I think something in a case that big, there would at least been, like, a speck of evidence if there was another person. I mean, I don't think there is.
No, and I feel like another thing they just brushed over really quick is, like, there was a point in the first, I don't know if it was the first or second part of it, where there was a dude who, like, said, like, he was the guy who did it, and they thought they found the dude, but it was the wrong guy, and they were, like, accusing this dude. People were sending him all these threats, and the dude ended up, like, killing himself.
Yeah.
And, like, that was crazy, and they just, like, brushed over it and moved on to, like, more.
He was, like, from, like, South Africa.
Yeah, they just brushed this dude who they thought was the guy who was doing these things to animals.
Well, he came out and said that he was.
Yeah, so I guess he was seeking attention, and I guess it caught up to him, but, like, I feel like that was crazy enough, and they kind of just threw it under the table and, like, moved on to the person killing cats. That kind of brings me to the question, like, do you think, like, the way, like, we are with society and, like, human rights versus animal rights, and, like, we watch all these crime shows and there's crime on TV, whether it's real or fake, and crime in the world that happens to humans, do you think, like, it's almost like when it's done to animals, like, it's just people almost care a little bit more because it's not something we see all the time and nothing we're, like, used to?
Well, it brings up a whole dynamic. Obviously, like, animals can't speak up for themselves, our environment can't speak up for themselves, and it's just like, how do you handle these things? Because there's always going to be these people who are going to speak up for the groups who can't speak up for themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of, it's just interesting.
Yeah, I feel like both of, whether the videos of the cats or the video of the dude, both made me cringe. I didn't feel like I felt more one way.
No, I definitely couldn't. I couldn't sit there and watch it.
But no, it was crazy. But then they finally found the dude. They had, like, a troop of people come in and take him out of there. And they found him because he was pretty much looking up his own celebrity. He was looking up in a public internet cafe information about himself.
How they catch him was nuts, actually.
I'm not gonna spoil that, just the whole manhunt part of it, but it's pretty insane how, like, this dude was on the run. They made him out to be some, like, master of disguise, like, out here doing stuff. But I feel like he's honestly just some prick who wanted attention and, like, got the attention, and once he got it, he was just trying to make it last as long as he could for his fame.
He sucks.
Most of this happened in Canada, which is known for being traditionally nice people, and he ended up being a Canadian guy, and I feel like this is the biggest L Canada's taken in a long time. Would you agree?
You know, those Canadians, man. Yeah, it's got to. I mean, because what I didn't realize was this happened, like, in 2011 to 2013,
yeah.
like, in that range.
I missed this.
I had never heard of it. But, like, they had national news coverage about it and everything.
I'm glad I didn't hear about it at the time. I was a little bit younger. I don't know if I
like,
was ready to hear any of that.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe Hennigan, for not letting me watch the news when I was a kid. It's such a, but to go back to your question about like society and everything, look at the video games everyone's playing. I mean, Call of Duty, and even everything is, every movie, like it's killing is just like, it's just like second nature now. So obviously these people that don't have anything else to live for or any like circumstance, nothing to lose. That's when you hear about all these like, tragic, mass shootings and everything. And we're not trying to get into that on here, but I think it's a deeper question, a deeper problem.
Yeah, the girl was like rule in the beginning. It's called "Don't F with Cats" because she's like talking about the internet and like how everything, like, all these videos and all this content on the internet. But like rule number one, she says is like "Don't F with cats." Pretty much saying rule number one is don't mess with animals on the internet. But I feel like rule number 0 or before 1 should be like don't mess with other people, right? Like I feel like that was just it's a crazy thing to watch. I'm not gonna like recommend people watch it if you're into crime and can handle some kind of messed up stuff and don't mind that stuff. I'd recommend watching it, but if not, I wouldn't judge you for not watching it. I'm not gonna go back and watch it anytime soon. I'm good on all that stuff.
If you have a pure soul, then don't watch it.
Yeah, I'd hate to see you. I'd hate to see you have to go through that. All right, we're gonna move on to the NBA All-Star game, which happens next weekend. But the draft just happened between LeBron James and Giannis picking their teams, so we want to talk about that stuff in a little bit. We're gonna first start off with who we thought got snubbed or maybe should have got a chance to be in this All-Star game. I feel like my biggest one for me is Bradley Beal. I thought Bradley Beal should have been in this game, and I don't want to like pick someone and like not have someone be like in their place pretty much. Like I think you could put in Bradley Beal, who's averaging 28 for his team, one of the top scorers in the league, and versus someone like Kyle Lowry. I think you could take Kyle Lowry out of there and put him in just because I feel like he's just more important to his team, and I feel like he just matters more to his team. And I feel like just because Toronto is probably I think the second team in the East right now, you have them up there. Do you have anyone else, Thomas, who you think should be in this game that's not in there?
No, I think they got it mostly right. Obviously, like I think they missed a couple Warriors players. Obviously, none of them are really healthy.
True.
I think you could have put in a Steph in there just for sake of it's Steph. Obviously, he doesn't really have the stats this year.
He's hurt.
I know he's hurt, but he's Steph. Isn't he not back?
No, he like broke his hand, bro. He's not in there.
Well,
he finished.
That was the only one that really caught my eye. I was like, well, this dude's won MVPs. He's won rings, but all right,
no,
whatever. He's hurt.
He's hurt. No, he still finished like 10th in fan voting. I'm pretty sure, even though he's hurt.
Yeah, there was a couple like where like Taco Fall.
Yeah, like a couple years ago, Zaza Pachulia was like number 1 in fan voting. Yeah. You can't take that. You can't take that for what it is. But I think a lot of people are arguing about Devin Booker not being in there, and I feel like he's an elite scorer for sure, but I feel like if you look at the Western Conference versus the Eastern Conference, I feel like if you're going to be a West All-Star, the West is so competitive that I think it actually matters if your team's winning. And I feel like his team just isn't good enough. He's putting up numbers for a team that's not very competitive. That's definitely not going to make the playoffs anytime soon. And I feel like versus if you look at a Trae Young who's starting for the East, he has big numbers as well, and it's for a bad team, but not a lot of teams are very strong in the East. So I feel like it's not that big of a deal versus East versus West. I think you could make a case for Paul George being in there maybe. He missed a couple games this season due to injury, but his numbers are great, and I feel like he's an all-star veteran. But I feel like for that position, you'd have to put someone like Brandon Ingram in for instead, who had a hell of a year in his own right. So I feel like that's a little bit dicey too. I think you could also argue Jaylen Brown over Tatum. I think, for me personally, I think he does more for that team offensively and defensively. And I think Tatum is just like overall more of an offensive weapon. That's why he got the nod. So you just think Hurt Curry? That's your only...
Look, man, Hurt Curry is one of the best players. Obviously, play or not, that dude would go out there and shoot with one hand if he could. Tell me he wouldn't.
I don't think he's trying to play for that team anytime soon, the way they're looking.
I wouldn't play for Team Giannis if I was on the team.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, let's just get into this draft. I feel like we watched it yesterday and feel like Giannis... Was he drunk?
Dude missed some clear. Was this his first time being
no?
So he had picked teams before,
yes.
Right? Okay. Well, he goofed on this year. Obviously, if you look at Team LeBron, just the starting 5,
they look stacked.
Doncic, Kawhi, James Harden, AD, and then like every position, every pick, I would take LeBron's guy over Giannis's guy. Obviously, I'm taking AD over Joel Embiid. Obviously, I'm a Celtics fan. I like the Kemba pick. I like Trae Young. Do I think that they are going to be able to compete with James Harden and Luka Doncic? No, I don't.
We're going to find out. I feel like when I watched it, Giannis made a lot of picks with his heart, not his brain. Like he was picking like people who like had the same like foreign roots as him. He was picking some people like Chris Middleton, who was his own teammate and things like that. So I feel like that's what played into it. All right, we're gonna start this draft. We have a coin here that we're gonna flip to determine who is LeBron playing the role of LeBron and who's playing the role of Giannis. Do you want to call it heads or tails? What do you want?
I will be heads for LeBron.
Okay. Oh, so you want LeBron?
I want to be LeBron.
All right. Let's see. It is tails. So
Bloody
I got that.
blood.
I got that one. I think.
So you're LeBron?
Well, here's the thing. If I'm LeBron, I get the first pick of the starters, but then you get the first pick of the reserves.
No one cares about reserves.
I was just trying to give him some love. All right, I'm definitely going to be LeBron for sure. All right. As LeBron James, for my first pick of this draft.
We got a list here in the studio.
Yeah, we have a big board in the studio that
Yeah.
we're going off of right now. All right, all right. So I have to be LeBron. I wish I had a headband. I could just embody LeBron right now.
You have better hair than LeBron.
Not by much. All right. If I'm LeBron, I think I'm gonna still take Anthony Davis one for sure. Just
Wow.
with the versatility he offers, I'm gonna still take Anthony Davis. That's someone I'm used to playing with. So I'm gonna just take LeBron off gate. I'm gonna take Anthony Davis. As LeBron.
Well, I'm taking the best player in the NBA,
Oh, word.
Kawhi Leonard.
Ooh.
He's going off the board.
Okay.
Me and Giannis and I, and Kawhi, we're tearing it up
Okay.
for sure.
So you took him. All right. Now I gotta. See, I'm LeBron, so I'm really gonna be the primary ball handler. I'm really gonna be the point guard of this team. So I really don't feel a need for a guard.
What are you gonna do? Pick Embiid?
No. I think I'm gonna take Luka. Yeah, I'm gonna take
Wow.
Luka.
Well, you took my pick, so
Yeah, I'm gonna take Luka. That's
Luka Magnotta.
too soon. Too soon. Yeah, I'll take Luka. Oh, I like my team already.
This makes it easy for me.
Go ahead.
Fear the beard.
Harden.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, you're Giannis, so you needed somebody to handle the ball for you. That's a solid ball handler.
That's true.
Okay, I have a lot of size already, so I'm gonna try to take one of these.
Kawhi and Harden?
I'm gonna take one of these guards off the board real
You're not
quick.
seeing me.
I think I'm gonna take Kemba.
Wow.
Yeah, I need a guard. I'm good
Okay.
on size. Give me Kemba.
You can have cardiac.
He'll play off the ball with me. He'll put that. He's selfish. He's not selfish at all. He'll take the role.
I see a lot of fighting for the ball on your team. LeBron,
No, we have a lot of-
Luka.
The more ball handling, the better.
Luka's a LeBron that can't drive.
He can play off ball. It's fine. I'll have the rock in my hands predominantly. I'll let someone take the reins.
I want
whenever they
Luka with the ball though.
I'm LeBron James though. I'm
yeah,
LeBron
yeah,
James.
yeah,
Luka's fire. Don't get me wrong, but he has to get to me first. Who you taking?
I got Harden. He's a ball handler. He's probably gonna bring it up. I'm gonna, give me Siakam.
Dang, I was gonna take Siakam.
I want the athletic Siakam
Spicy
playing
P.
at my 4.
Spicy
I think
P.
Kawhi and Harden will handle it well. So he's gonna be my guy.
That's a good pick.
Pascal.
Okay, so I'm between Embiid and Trae Young right now. My team has a lot of size already. Kemba's our smallest dude. It's an all-star game, I think. Yeah, it's an all-star game. I'll take Trae Young. It's an all-star game. I'm not trying to have too much size. I'll take another guard. I'm taking shooting ball handlers, and then AD will be our stretch 5. I like my team.
You can enjoy your team. It's taking an L though. I mean, I'm not an Embiid guy. I don't really like Embiid.
We might have to find a way to simulate this.
But
Yeah, you're stuck with Embiid.
We can play on 2K.
He's out of shape. He's not going to be able to keep up with AD.
Don't worry, it's going to be a quick sub. Get Joel out of there.
Okay, so now we're moving on to the reserves. My starting 5, for those who don't know, as LeBron. It's me, AD, Luka. Your handwriting is terrible. What does that even say?
It's Kimba.
Kemba and Trae Young. Who do you have? Who's your team, Thomas? Team Giannis?
Team Giannis. We got Giannis, Kawhi, James Harden, Pascal Siakam, and Joel Embiid. Deal with that.
I think this is a more evenly matched matchup than we
Yeah.
saw in the draft. All right, you have the first pick of the reserve round.
And it's going to be the
taking?
easiest pick of the day.
I'm so scared. Who are you going to take?
Russell Westbrook.
Wow.
He should be an all-star. He should not be a reserve. He should be in the starters.
Starter, you think?
He should be starter over Trae Young, Kemba Walker, Pascal Siakam,
Well, those are dudes
and
that
Trae.
aren't. Those aren't dudes that are in this conference. You got to think it's East West.
Dude, I hate the NBA. They're too political. You got to put the best players as all-stars. Russell Westbrook is getting on there.
That surprised me because he's my favorite player in the league to watch personally, just because of the mentality he brings. 9-time All-Star, and he's won 2 of these All-Star MVP awards, so he definitely has that DNA. And I was definitely going to try to. I didn't think you'd pick him so soon. I like your pick. I'm just surprised.
You dang right.
I definitely thought going into this. I definitely thought I was going to get him because he's definitely a sleeper MVP candidate for this game. Okay, who am I going to take? I think I'm going to draft Damian Lillard. Have to.
He's performing at halftime.
Yeah, got it. I expect a big performance on the court, off the court. It's Dame time all the time. We're going to go with Dame Lillard. He's averaging, last couple games, he's averaging like 50. He's going dumb right now. He's going to stay hot.
Oh, by the way, it's not my handwriting. It's the silver Sharpie that's glowing. That's hard to read.
The big board's struggling.
So, for my next pick, see, now we get a lot of those players that are like the 3 and 4, just solid players.
You got to think about versatility for sure.
Yeah. I have Joel and Giannis as bigs. Don't know if I need another big right now. Also, I have a lot of players that can play that 1 to 3 range. I think I'm going Joker.
Jokic, okay.
I love his game.
It's a saucy little pick.
I think he goes out there and he gets rebounds, dribbles out, and shoots threes for himself. Kid's a bucket.
I'm going to match your pick at center, and I'm going to go with Rudy Gobert.
Ooh.
Dude's going to be one of the few dudes in this game who I think is going to actually play defense. I have people who can distribute the ball. I see a lot of... If I was in this situation and I'm in the body
Stephen
of LeBron
Colbert.
James, I'm throwing lobs to Rudy Gobert. I know Luka's going to throw those lobs. I know Trae Young's going to throw those lobs. Dame's going to throw them to him. I think we can feed him at a certain point and get some production.
I like it. I'm going to take my Celtic boy, Jason Tatum. He's a athlete, Duke guy, and he plays those positions 1 through 3 if you need him to. Obviously not going to be the superstar of the day, but he is off the board.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep matching your picks. I think I need a wing with some versatility who's having a great year. Don't love his game too much, but I feel like for the scenario of what I need for this team, I'm gonna go with Brandon Ingram as far as size goes.
Yeah, okay. Definitely an athlete, versatile.
He'll get some dunks. He'll get some easy buckets in this game. I'll take him.
So I've got 3 bigs. I definitely like your. You know what? Give me Spider Mitchell.
Ooh.
I
liked him.
He's a scorer. He's a scorer, and there's already a lot of guys, but he's another one that you know what you're gonna get from him. I'm taking him.
Okay, I'm gonna go with a good guy in the locker room to have, a fiery guy. He's gonna play hard in this game. I know for a fact. He's on a team right now who people didn't expect to be that good this year. He's averaging 20, 5-time All-Star. Jimmy Butler,
I love
buckets.
I love it. I'm a huge Jimmy Butler guy.
Pray he yells at somebody.
Yeah, I love it. I love his game. Bucket Jimmy. You know what? I'm going to stick down in South Beach, and I'm going to get someone with that North Carolina blood in him. Big Bam.
Bam, Bam.
Give me Bam.
I was going to try to take him next so I can get a little teammate action. But
You want to talk about throwing lobs. I've
Yeah.
seen this dude play firsthand. Kid's an athlete. Monster.
Rudy Gobert's not going for all that. All right.
Stephen Colbert.
Oof. Okay, let me look at my team. AD, Luka. I need Jimmy. Jimmy could play guard if he needs to. I have Dame. I like my size a lot. I'm going to go with another good ball handler. Dude that's a floor general. Dude who people have been criticizing for being in this game, but he took a team. When he got traded from the Rockets, people were like, oh, his career's over. His career's going to die at OKC. But they're a 30-win team. Really fun team to watch. I'm going to go with the floor general, Chris Paul. Someone who's going to go out there and play some defense for me, too.
3-3-6, man.
Product.
Look at how many guys either played college in North Carolina or from North Carolina in this game.
We argue a lot over where the talent comes from football. Florida, Georgia, Carolina's like to argue, but the hoop state's the hoop state for sure.
Yeah. North Carolina's got the ballers. And here we are. Dude.
Slim pickings. For those who want to update, Chris Middleton, Kyle Lowry, Ben Simmons, and Sabonis are on the board right now.
Spider Mitchell, that was a good pick. You know what? Give me... Give me Ben Simmons. Hopefully, we got a Kardashian in the fans too. I'm cheering for our fan. That's the only reason I'm picking Ben Simmons.
Dude has zero jump shot.
No, I mean he's got 0-0.
There's a world where he has 4 points in this game. Couldn't take him. I'm gonna do a little sleeper pick. I'm gonna take my boy Sabonis out of Indiana, first time All-Star. He's gonna get me some boards. He's averaging 12 boards this year. Sleeper. I think he's gonna He's a first time All-Star. This game is gonna matter to him. He's gonna play hard. I'm gonna take Sabonis.
Dom's world. So Kyle Lowry, Chris Middleton, All-Star game. I like the way he shoots. Chris Middleton. Probably gonna take him. I think just to have a guy that can, he can slash when he needs to, but obviously he's gonna stay out there wide and hopefully knock down some threes for me.
There's simply no way that he's in this game if he's not on the Bucks, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
And that leaves me with Kyle Lowry for my last guy.
That's what I'm saying. I think one-arm Steph Curry is better than Chris Middleton, and he would have been third or fourth pick for me.
Yeah, the East. My biggest takeaway from this is that the East is definitely weak, for sure. So
with Kawhi leaving, it left the hole.
So I have Kyle Lowry, 6-time All-Star, NBA championship under his belt. Maybe that championship DNA would help my team out.
Yeah,
I like my team.
I hope they're gonna take an L, but
LeBron. I wish we
should be fun to look at.
We can find a way to simulate this. Maybe we can go on 2K and really put this to the test.
But you play 2K.
All right. Well, I can play against the computer and we can simulate this and get to the test. That's our fantasy, our All-Star mock draft that we just did. It was really fun to do. I think we definitely did a little. I think you personally definitely did better than Giannis did for sure.
I have to.
All right, so we're gonna talk about the new format of this game. Actually, they're changing the format. You know how they do with the Pro Bowl and the All-Star games and things like that. They always try to change the format of the game to keep the fans interested and keep it exciting. So this year, I'm gonna explain it to you, Thomas. I'm gonna try to explain it to the people as best as I can because it's a little bit confusing.
The quarter thing.
Yeah. So each quarter's 12 minutes, and pretty much each quarter is an individual game. So after each quarter's played, the clock's going to start over and they're going to start it. First quarter will be its own little game. Try to win the first quarter individually, second quarter, and third quarter. Whoever wins that, the winner gets $100,000 to the charity of their choice. That's always great, obviously. But the score is going to start over every quarter. So if it ends 40-50 after the first, that'd be insane. But if it ends like that, then in the second quarter, they're just going to start over. So then in the fourth quarter, they take all those scores from before and they combine them. They just combine them to get a final score, pretty much. And then to honor Kobe, they're going to add 24 points to the team who has whoever has the lead at that point.
Uh-huh.
They're going to add 24 points to that, and then that's going to be the mark to win. So it's not like you're playing until the clock ends. There's going to be no clock in the fourth quarter. You're playing to get to that 24 points first. So if you have 100, so if your team through those quarters has 100 points, you add 24 to that, so you have 124 points. And then the first one to get to that score wins the game, whether you're down or up. First one to get to that target score wins. It's a little confusing. Hopefully watching it will be a little less confusing. But how do you feel about this new system they have?
Obviously, I knew they would do something for Kobe's honor. I think it's creative. I think it's interesting. I don't think it's necessarily the best way where you can organize the All-Star game. Try to keep it as simple as possible. I don't really understand the whole play for 3 quarters and the winner of the 3 quarters because it's an All-Star game. It's gonna be who's got the most shooters and who's because no one's gonna play defense.
Yeah.
Obviously, I hope you see just some cool highlights. I think it would have been cool to see, Zion Williamson out there as an All-Star just for the fans' sake. We talked about this. He's must-watch TV. They left off guys that are just people are gonna watch.
They say he might play in the Rising Stars thing where it's the world versus the U.S. So there might be some highlights in that game. That's actually a really good game every year where it's the players from the international players versus the U.S. players. That's one I always enjoy watching. But for me, I feel like if you're someone who watches the All-Star game or loves basketball like me, who watches it every year, I feel like there's the people who watch this and the people who don't. And I feel like if you're interested in basketball enough and you follow it enough to where you know who Bam Adebayo is and care about this game, you're gonna watch it no matter what the format is. So I feel like trying to get more people intrigued is just kind of a stretch. I feel like trying to make it competitive to where each quarter is a game of its own is cool. But I feel like for me, I'm a basketball junkie. I'm gonna watch it regardless, and the people who aren't gonna watch it aren't gonna watch it. I feel like also the thing with Kobe, the tribute, it's definitely cool. And I feel like this All-Star weekend in general is gonna be a lot of dedication to Kobe. And I feel like the adding 24 points thing was a little bit of a stretch. They definitely had good intentions. It's a little bit of a stretch. The players on each team are going to have 2 for his daughter and 24 on already. And I feel like even in the dunk contest, people are going to do some tributes and things like that. So I feel like it was a little bit of a stretch for that aspect of it. But I'm going to still watch it regardless. I don't care if it's 4 individual games or one big game.
And like you said, the people that follow the NBA are going to watch it regardless. I mean, it's really cool to see like the best in the game all on the court at the same time. You know,
that's enough to get me excited.
Yeah, and then I think there are going to be guys, you know, obviously it's All-Star, hearts are going to be light, but I think there are going to be guys that come out there and play with some fire. I think Westbrook always plays with fire. I think,
sure.
Like you said, Jimmy Butler's always going to come out and play with fire. And I don't know, man. I think it's going to be cool to watch, you know, Luka Doncic out there, you know, as the young guy, Jason Tatum, young, you know, just, you know, get out there with the big boys, see how they can compete.
Exactly. We're excited about it for sure over here. We're going to watch it regardless, have our eyes on that. Let's move on to The Bachelor, shall we? It's been a huge week for The Bachelor. 2 episodes this week. 1 on Monday, 1 on Wednesday, 3 hours, 2 hours. It's been a grind. We're gonna talk about
a lot of footage.
We're going to talk about both episodes. There's a lot to talk about, so let's just get right into that first episode. So they finally say goodbye to your girl, Leia. Probably the only thing Peter did well. Peter's tripping, right? Like, Peter's not great at this job.
I don't think Peter was mentally or emotionally prepared to take on this role as a bachelor. Obviously, there's no real scenario where you can prepare yourself for it, but I don't think he's handled his business particularly well. I think the Alea scenario is really a good example how he's handled the whole process. You come back. Oh, wait, I'll give you a rose. Next episode, first 5 minutes, she's gone. If you're going to make decisions, you got to make the decisions. You can't let the girls in the house, because obviously it's a competition. If I was one of the girls in the house, I definitely would have felt backhanded by letting her into the house. She didn't play in the football game, and then you give her a rose, and then you let her go the next day just because all the girls are complaining about it. It's just, you know, it was just kind of fishy. And then the whole, you know, Alea, Victoria P, I think in the long run he had it down. Like, he was going to let both of them go because both of them flat out just didn't tell the truth to him. I think Victoria P, it's Victoria P. I think she was all right.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, okay.
We'll get to that. He finally says bye to Alea, though, the best decision he's made. I feel like overall in this whole process, he is listening to girls too much, and then like now he's listening to himself too much almost. It's weird. So he said goodbye to Alea, and then Deandra, Savannah, and Kiara go home. No surprises there. There's no real connections. And then they take their talents from Cleveland to Costa Rica, which the girls were definitely a little bit more excited about. He busts his head open off gate, told that terrible fake story about the puma attacking him, and had to like awkwardly listen to the girls. Like,
I promise you that puma would have ripped him to shreds.
Oh my God, what happened? Like, oh no, really? They really believed.
He probably weighs $130 soaking wet.
That terrible story, yeah, that wasn't it. But then after that, he took Sydney on the one-on-one date, told her she was the best kisser. She said that she used to eat in the bathroom in high school, but then like stuff came out that wasn't true, and she was like,
props to whoever did that on Twitter. I watched the video.
Twitter's gonna find you.
She genuinely looked through this girl's yearbook, and she went to high school with Hannah Brown. How nuts is that?
Small world. Small bachelor world.
So they were like, well, if we can ask Hannah Brown who actually ate where, either way, to tell the girl she's the best kisser, and then
she's gone by the end of the week.
Obviously, kissing's not everything, people. You gotta have a heart.
That's true, and maybe those lies about eating in the bathroom and being bullied got back to Peter somehow.
Yeah.
The group date, they went on the photo shoot. Victoria F wins, but then like she doesn't win because she had her whole controversy where she couldn't even be in Cosmopolitan.
Yeah, so the winner of the photo shoot was going to be featured on Cosmopolitan. Obviously, like every girl's a dream. And a couple things up with that. The photo shoot, they photoshopped some abs on Peter. A little suspect. I mean, if I was there, obviously, slap a six-pack on me, I'd look good too. But I think when they tracked the whole Victoria story, it's Victoria P, right? Yeah. Victoria P was photographed either Victoria F. Yeah. F. She was photographed a couple months earlier wearing a White Lives Matter hat, and Cosmopolitan said, we're not going to run this because this doesn't support.
That ain't it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
They said though that was for like a thing for like fish. Like, did you see that? It was like blue and white fish, and there was like white lives. There was like a fish on it. Either way, it was just a poor decision.
I just think it was pretty sketchy, you know. Obviously, if you're Cosmopolitan,
have to do it.
You can't risk your business as monstrous as it is, obviously I'm not following Cosmopolitan like my sisters or my girlfriend would, but
Thomas has a subscription. Don't let him fool y'all. Comes to the house every week.
Yeah, it comes to this house because my address doesn't work. But yeah, I mean, to be safe on the safe side, Cosmopolitan, I think they did the right thing. But it's interesting because like Victoria P's is like not full white, so it's like I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough. So then Kelsey versus Tammy, they duke it out. Kelsey's very emotional, and then
That goes a wreck.
Tammy says she's unstable about it, and then
Tammy sucks too, though.
yeah, it was just a bad matchup overall. And then Tammy, as she always has, the theme has been her just going to Peter and telling her stuff that's just like really not her business. Goes and tells Peter right after Kelsey was like, Peter, I'm falling in love with you, and he was like, bet. And then Kelsey's like, oh, or Tammy's like, oh, guess what? Like, she's emotionally unstable. And then Kelsey comes back to the group and says, like, I think which is the best line of the year, crying to the group saying, who said I'm emotionally unstable?
Yeah.
As she's crying.
Yeah.
That killed me. And then Tammy didn't even own up to it when she confronted the whole group. It was super weird.
That was just low, though. I mean, you can't talk about someone behind their back, and then when they come to confront everybody, everyone else is speaking up, and Tammy just sat there with. I mean, that really showed Tammy's heart.
Yeah, Tammy's not the move.
I was never really a big fan of Tammy. She went about getting girls off the show in a very interesting way, and I'm glad she's gone.
Yeah, Tammy, that transitions straight to the Kelly one-on-one date of the century. I think we can both say that Kelly's the realest out by far.
Caden had a great take on his perspective of Kelly. Please enlighten the people about what you thought of Kelly.
So I feel like Kelly, if I was on The Bachelor and I was like The Bachelorette and I was on there, like I feel like I would be Kelly. Like she confronted Peter pretty much and was like, I'm not happy with you, Peter. Like, you're rewarding drama, and like I don't feel the need to tell a sob story like all these other girls on their first date. Like, I'm gonna just keep it real. Like
you're a grown man. You're too old for drama, is what she said.
Yeah, she's 28 years old. Like, she was calling Peter out. That was great. And let's not sleep on the fact that the date was like awful. With the weird shamans and like melting the candles and like
she looked good.
The room. She looked good for sure. They looked good, but I mean like the maze, terrible date, but she snapped regardless. And I feel like she kept it so real with Peter that I almost feel like the mood in the room we were watching is like Peter doesn't deserve this girl.
No,
like the show doesn't deserve her. I feel like she's keeping it real, and she's like a lawyer from Chicago, 28, clearly the most mature person out there. Like, I don't know if Peter deserves her, and I feel like he's thinking that in the back of his head too.
I think the interesting thing about Kelly is how she handled herself on that one-on-one date. It was like the show was trying to set her up for failure,
and she was like, not
saying
going.
Like the whole like candle melting thing is leaning away from him, like trying to say like she's holding back, like. And Peter was like very annoying, like trying to like I was like, oh, like, this candle said, like, you're leaning away from me and I'm giving, like, my all. Like, shut up, Peter. It's a freaking candle. Like, you're not going to believe that. And then, I mean, like, Kelly's been handling her business all the time. I mean, she completely just blows Peter away with her maturity and how she handles herself. And I think that was a true representation of how she is outside of the show.
For sure. And she was never involved in any drama. Always
never
kept herself out
of
that. Definitely top prospect for me, number one for sure. First team all maturity.
I think after that
first team all real woman, like number one for sure.
No, she definitely handled her business. Very pretty, got a great job. She's a lawyer. Little sneak peek. I think Kelly's gonna be top 4, and I think when Peter goes to her hometown, this is just me completely guessing. I haven't seen anything.
No tabloids.
I think there's gonna be an issue with Kelly's family being too real for Peter. And he can't handle it.
Yeah, Peter's definitely too hot in the kitchen. He's gonna step out for sure.
Yeah.
That transition to Kelsey proceeding to sneak off to Peter, which works out in everyone's favor when they do that. Offset, audible.
I've seen it backfire a couple times.
Sneaks off to Peter, snitches, and then she gets a rose out of it pretty much. I feel like Peter's just a sucker for that kind of stuff, and it just rubbed me the wrong way. And then after that, the rose ceremony got canceled because Peter said he'd heard enough, and all the girls are pretty mad at Kelsey for doing that because she came back with a rose and waved it in their face and slid, and McKenna was especially torn up about that. But what's new there? She was crying about everything.
That girl was... I think when you look at McKenna and what she was saying, like the whole... I love myself. I can do this. I'm a beautiful woman. No one's ever going to talk. I think that kind of backfired on her. Obviously, she was trying to get a little, inspiration behind like all like the women like get behind her and everything. And maybe it did. Maybe it did touch somebody. But just for me, like as a pretty surface level viewer, that was a bit much for me. Like obviously, I'm not going to look for this 22-year-old girl on a reality fake TV show that she's gonna inspire my life to be a better person.
Yeah, good for her confidence in herself, but the way she goes about it ain't it.
Nah.
Then right before the rose ceremony where there was supposed to be no cocktail party, weak-minded Peter listens to Tammy and McKenna before the ceremony. The girls were saying they had their own cocktail party before the ceremony. Girls were sitting down waiting for the roses. Nobody was happy about that. But then he kept Tammy. After all that stuff, keeps Tammy and then says goodbye to Lexi and Cheyenne, and then Cheyenne does the classic like, be careful about these girls, like watch your back. And then of course Peter gets all worried about that, and that's how the first episode ended. Moving on to the second one, Hannah Ann had her one-on-one date, and then Peter questions if she's ready or not for him because she's 23 years old and hasn't been in love, which is just kind of weird because Peter's probably the most childish person I've seen on the show.
I don't think Peter has any right. I mean, obviously he's the Bachelor, but you don't have any right to judge someone else's heart. And I don't think you and I both touched on it when we were watching it. I don't think it's that bad of a thing to have not loved somebody.
Yeah, it's not like, what do you want her to have like 9 people she's been in love with? And
Yeah.
like I'd rather have someone who's not been in love
Not
with
been in
anybody
love than someone who was in love, and then you have to ask all these questions. Well, what went wrong with that? Because I mean, it's a catch-22 when you look at it like that.
It's like, do you want someone who's been in love with Chase Rice or like someone who's not been in love at all? Like, just pick your side. And then he leaves the table and acts all weird about it and has to like reflect to himself, and then she gets all sad and goes up to him and cries about it. And then
I like Peter as the Bachelor at the begining of the thing. I thought it was a good pick, good safe pick. I thought he was going to be a good guy.
He definitely seems safe.
Yeah, I just don't think I don't think he's particularly handled himself and made the best decisions for himself.
Yeah, so he steps out, she comes back crying, and she's like, what's wrong? And then like she gets a rose, and another girl just cries her way to a rose for Peter, which I think that's his reward system. If you come to me with drama or cry, I will give you a rose. So in the group days where they do the acting thing, that was pretty cool, I guess. McKenna is riding her little sadness wave, and then she's like, oh, I'm the maid, and I fit this role perfectly because I'm not being seen by Peter and all this stuff, and she's living in her sorrows, and then finally at the end she like becomes the star of that episode, I guess, and kisses him, and that gives her all the confidence in the world that she needs, I guess. She's a character.
I don't like her.
Yeah,
Reminds me of Casper. I don't know, she gives off that vibe.
So then after that, like him and Victoria P talk, and he's clearly not into that. I think this might have been the realest thing he did, actually. Him and Victoria P talked, and he pretty much said like, I just don't see you being my wife, fam. Like, I think the stuff with Alea was still lingering in his mind, and she definitely lied a little bit. Definitely feel like he should have just got rid of her when he had that feeling in his gut after it ended with Alea, but I guess he kept her around, told her to leave. She was out of there, and was that.
I can't wait for the Women Tell All to uncover that part of the story and say like, what's the actual truth behind.
The Women Tell All will be a roast of Peter.
Yeah.
That's exciting too.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like, obviously you look at the Tammy McKenna drama and then the Kelsey drama with the champagne popping and all of that.
Champagne poppy.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of stories and backstories that need to be uncovered then. But I think all the women aren't going to be, at the end of this, I think a lot of them are not going to be too disappointed that they didn't end up with Peter as their husband.
I think they're also going to look back and be like, ugh.
Yeah.
What the heck? So then McKenna and Tammy start popping off on each other. All hell breaks loose, and that's while Peter's talking to Madison, this all happens. He clearly has a lot of feelings for her. I think she's another front runner too. And then McKenna defends herself, which I'm glad she defended herself against Tammy, and like I just didn't like the way she went about it. But Tammy, I feel like, is definitely more worried in this whole process.
Tammy was a bully.
She was way more worried about exposing other people's flaws to Peter than like her relationship with Peter. I can't even think about what her and Peter look like together. Like I can't picture them on a date or kissing or having any romantic moments.
Right.
Just because she's been so worried about other people and not herself.
Yeah, it's sad when there's people like that who just lack the confidence in themselves where they have to bring other people down. I don't like Tammy and the way she handled the situation. But then again, I'm not a fan of McKenna either. So it was just kind of like watching Russia and Nazi Germany fight each other. Like they can both go down.
Then he has his one-on-one with Victoria F, which is pretty awkward because she used to date the old Peruvian horseback rider. That was a joke. That was Chase Rice's joke. It might have been a bad one. Dude made them crawl under the horse. That was pretty weird. I thought it was a pretty bad day overall in this small little ranch, and they had like dinner with this giant family. That was weird.
I think she's on the train path or the thought where she's like, I don't think I want Peter anymore. I think that's what she's thinking.
Yeah, she definitely was. Peter was like trying to get her to open up, and she was not going for it. She was second guessing the whole process, which a lot of girls do. They second guess the whole idea of people saying that like it's a show and like the person having multiple girlfriends and like during the date, she goes to the bathroom and says she's sick, and she's like crying, and she's like, "What am I doing?" And then, of course, Peter rewards her and gives her a rose too, even though she was clearly not interested at all.
Yeah.
Wasn't opening up at all. I feel like if you look at any other world that's not The Bachelor, like that was a bad date. Like the girl was not opening up, was not feeling it, was saying she was second guessing everything, and then went to the bathroom and cried because she felt sick throwing up. And he's like, "Yeah, here's your rose. Like come back." Like
I think the show is either portraying her as someone who's holding back to make her like not the obvious front runner, because obviously after this episode Peter is crazy about her, but
Clearly.
I think the whole Chase Rice thing really got into her head. She wasn't expecting to see her ex. Who can blame her for that? But I think she is on the path to holding back. I think she's second guessing, having Peter as a husband.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are having second thoughts, and the whole show is just wearing on this group of girls plus the drama. I kind of feel bad for them. So then Peter's like, "Yo, McKenna and Tammy, like, I'm going to need y'all to pull up before the cocktail party. We're going to smash this beef real quick." Tammy's wearing her necklace that says Tam. That wasn't
Tam. Shout out to that Australian candy company.
I'm going to get you one that says Tom. Just T-O-M on your
Can I get an H? T-H-O-M?
No, just 3 letters. All you get, Tam or Tom. It's just...
Lisa's not going for that. She's not going.
So then Tammy goes first and says, like, all this stuff that you didn't even hear about before. She's like, McKenna's trying to use hashtags and, like, be famous and all this stuff. And she's like, you just bringing stuff up that it wasn't even brought up before. And then McKenna defends herself. And then it's pretty clear Tammy's only stirring the pot, which it took Peter 10 years to figure this out. But I guess he finally figured out that Tammy was just there to stir the pot. So he sends her home. Says bye to her. She had the quote, she said, "You're nothing," and then Tammy said, "I'm everything."
I am everything.
I was like, okay,
oh, really,
Thanos?
Tam?
Thanos?
Yeah.
Like, who do you think you are? So then Peter, who I thought was blind the whole time, finally sees that Tammy's not the move, kicks her out of there. Maybe the producers try to keep her around, maybe not. I don't know. McKenna's happy for 0.5 seconds, but then, like, she doesn't even get a rose. Like, he kicked her to the curb, too. She went out honorably, I guess, versus just getting booted straight up.
I don't know. McKenna and her tongue just needed to go. I mean, that girl had serious, like, issues with her tongue when she was nervous.
Oh, licking her lips all the time.
Yeah, just very, just ew.
Yeah,
yucky.
So McKenna out of there, Tammy out of there. The rose ceremony, she also kicked off Sydney, which really shocked me. I thought she was definitely last longer.
Best kisser, man. Jacob Hughes been a big fan of her lips, by the way.
Yeah, there's more. Thomas calling lip filler, by the way.
She's got lip filler problems. Sydney has lip filler problems.
Her voice was a little annoying, but I just definitely saw her making it past this point, especially over Natasha. But
yeah,
it's Peter, so nothing surprises me. Hopefully next week Peter steps up a little bit to the plate. He has a better group of girls, I think, a more drama-free group of girls overall. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
We're going to play a game now. Hopefully this goes well.
Yeah.
Overrated.
Kaden just explained this to me like, I don't know, probably an hour or two ago.
Yeah, I just wanted to shake it up a little bit, play a little game, get to know us a little bit better. It's called Overrated, Underrated. You've probably seen it before. We're going to just spit out some random topics to each other, and we're both going to decide if they're overrated or underrated.
They could be topics, people, places.
It could be anything. It's going to get random, might get a little weird, but we're just going to get right into it, Thomas. I'm going to start first. Overrated or underrated? AirPods.
Oh, wow. You're good at these.
I tried to think of stuff that was, like, debatable.
I think they're overrated when it comes to the technology behind, the earbuds, but I've heard a lot of people have them falling out of their ears, so I think they're overrated.
I think I'm going to go towards overrated, too. I think they're
overpriced.
I don't think we have them, right?
They're definitely overpriced.
You don't have them, right?
I don't have them.
So I feel like either we don't have them, so we're saying overrated. I feel like people who have them might say underrated, but I just feel like when I first saw them off gate, I was like, I'll never buy those. I lost those looking at them. Like, I've already lost them.
Yeah, definitely.
And I have my classic Apple headphones with the wires, and I feel like
same. I'm happy with those.
Using my hands and having to untangle them, I just feel like it adds character to my life, and I feel like it just makes me a little bit stronger than other people who just have their AirPods and their convenience. My mom does have them. When I pop them in my ears, they do sound good.
I bet they sound good.
They sound good, but I lean towards overrated.
I think that because the one thing I'm looking forward to is where I don't have to have my phone on me, and I can listen to music. So I don't know how long, like how far away your phone.
Oh, like Bluetooth, beyond borders.
What's the length?
Okay.
So I think that would probably go into consideration, but just off gate, overrated.
All right, what do you got?
Zoos. What do you think about zoos?
Zoos?
Are they overrated or underrated?
This is a whole debate about like.
I don't want to hear the whole sob story. I'm just gonna come out and say I don't like zoos. Animals should be free. That's my thing on zoos. End of story for me.
I feel like for the kids it's cool.
That's fine.
The children love the zoos.
Watch Planet Earth on Netflix.
But there's just not after the Harambe thing, I'm gonna say overrated.
Okay.
For my boy Harambe, shout out my guy, R.I.P.
Yeah,
we lost a real one. Yeah,
I'll see him in heaven
Yeah,
someday.
yeah, free the animals. Forget
Yeah.
zoos. My childhood wouldn't have been like much better with the zoo.
Good.
Or not better. All right, Mexican food.
Underrated.
Really?
Huge Mexican guy. You can slap whatever in front of me. I mean, R.I.P. to my toilet afterwards.
That's why I'm leaning towards underrated, because we always talk about love queso, love margs, like love burritos, love barbaritos.
The Mexican
no one's
culture,
talking about what happens after though.
No one wants to talk about it.
I know when they went to Peru, Costa Rica, all these places for the Bachelor. Like, I know those girls were on the toilet after. Like, I'm sorry.
That's why they look so skinny. I mean, but honestly, underrated. I love the food. I love the culture. And I'm just eating the American Mexican food. If I went down to freaking Mexico City and I'm getting my wallet jacked while I'm munching on some ACP,
come on, bro.
I'm all about that. Underrated.
I'm gonna go overrated, bro. People are always like hyping up queso.
It's delicious.
Queso
man.
is good, bro, but like, there's just, you can go to Moe's, Chipotle, you can go to all that stuff. It's everywhere. Chipotle is my jam. Don't get me wrong. I eat that more than anything, but like, I just feel like overall,
Salsaritas will be sponsored by me if I ever make it big.
Mexican food, I'm gonna go overrated. What do you have?
Roller coasters.
Roller coasters.
Are you a roller coaster guy?
I love a good roller coaster. Here's my thing. When we go to the theme park, like if you ever go to a theme park, I will do everything except for something that like spins. Like even if it's like the teacups, like if it's spinning and I'm gonna get dizzy, it's a no for me, dog. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah,
roller coasters.
I don't do like the fast Ferris wheel they have one at Carowinds, like where you're in a cage, like spinning.
No. Super spinny. I'm not gonna do it. Roller coaster, like big drops. I'll hop on all that stuff. I'm gonna say underrated. I feel like theme parks have been a little bit more slept on these days when you look at the age of technology and other things rising. There's nothing better than just a good day at the theme park. It's a little expensive, whatever. Go there, ride the ride as much as you want. Yeah. I'm gonna go underrated.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Underrated as well.
All right. TikTok, the app. Ooh.
You ask a lot of people and they're gonna say underrated. I'm going to say overrated. I've seen my friend lose hours and hours of his life. Talking about Jacob Huseman, he has lost hours and hours of his life sitting there watching useless videos, watching 15-year-olds shake their butt, or watching him laugh at people who are disabled for no reason. I don't like it. I think it's I do think there are some funny and creative people out there, and I think I was a fan of Vine, but I think TikTok is, I mean, obviously they're pretty much the same thing. I'm going overrated as far as taking just time away from spending it with friends.
I want to say like properly rated because I feel like it's right in the middle, but I feel like we can't do that. Like we have to pick one. I think TikTok's what you make of it. I think the stuff you look at is going to determine what's on your feed. So if you're looking at like people dancing, that's all you're going to get on your feed versus like if you look at different stuff. It's I like making TikToks. I think I'm gonna go making TikToks. Underrated.
Underrated.
TikTok is an app.
That's an art.
Overrated.
That's an art.
Okay.
That's an art. That's an art to creating stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with.
Okay. My turn.
Yeah.
Wild West movies or shows?
Overrated.
You didn't like Bonanza as a kid?
There's a couple here. I'm gonna just spill it to everybody. There's a couple genres of stuff as far as movies go that I'm just not gonna get into. Wild West is one of them.
You don't like Pirates either, though.
Yeah.
You like Pirates?
Pirates of the yeah. So these are my genres I don't like. Not a huge fan of. Wild West stuff, pirate stuff, big robots fighting, whether it's like Transformers, like Pacific Rim. Overrated. That's overrated.
Do you like Harry Potter?
War movies. Just can't do war.
You don't like war movies?
Those all those categories just have the same type of action. Like you're gonna get your shootout, you're gonna get your war scene. Like it's just all repetitive and the same to me. And anything that goes back to times where stuff was more boring, like I'm not gonna go back and see like Wild West pistols.
Yeah. See, I was
when I could watch Hobbs and Shaw and like people drifting cars and like shooting shots with the AKs and stuff. Like I'm not.
You're a millennial.
I am. When it comes to my movie taste, yeah, I'm a millennial. Like I'm only go so far back when I get enjoyment. So I'm gonna say overrated.
Yeah, I like the Wild West. I like the Cowboys and Indian stuff. Always have, always will. Also like Pirates. Also like big robots fighting.
That's it's repetitive, man. There's only so much Optimus Prime can do, man.
He can do it all.
Yeah, it's he's
tiring. Like Tammy.
I will say though
everything.
The whole Wild West cowboy like persona with the hat and like the sweat dripping from their nose and like that's cool. A little scruffy beard, like all that's cool. Like the bandana around the neck, like that's hype. Bareback horse ride, that's hype.
Yeah,
that's cool. It's a cool persona.
So do you like Django?
That's different.
No, it's not. That's a Wild West movie.
No,
that is a Wild West.
I'm not even gonna get into you in that. All right, overrated or underrated potatoes?
Look, man. I'm a Midwestern soul.
I forgot about this.
I will eat potatoes with every meal if I could. Mashed. Anything.
I think the versatility.
Baked.
I put this on here.
Sweet potato. Anything.
All right, I'm not a big sweet potato guy. I'm not gonna lie. But I think if you look at the versatility of the potato, I think it's underrated. Like people see fries as fries.
There's not a lot of people listening to this podcast right now that have been out to freaking Idaho. We've seen where those things are grown.
I think the versatility of the potato, you get fries, you got mashed potatoes, baked potato, hash brown. I feel like when you look
at potatoes.
Underrated for sure, I feel, right? Because you look at fries as fries. You don't think about the potato in the process.
Or a nice spud.
Potatoes trust the process.
Yeah.
And I appreciate them. I just want to give them a
Midwestern.
shout out.
I'm Midwestern and I got Irish in my blood.
Underrated.
Potatoes run through me, man.
Underrated. What you got?
NASCAR.
Oof.
See, I already know my answer. Not a NASCAR guy. I get there's a lot of money behind it, and I respect the sport. I think it's underrated, even though I'm not a fan of it.
I think I'm going to say the same thing, too. There's way too much of a following for me to be like, it's overrated.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's rating it.
I think that would just be ignorant for both of us to say, like, we don't follow it, but I will respect it.
All right. I don't know if I respect the whole, like, just one big left turn joint. Like, it's just...
I think you'd be good at it. Throw you and your Jeep out there.
Yeah, throw the Jeep Compass on the track, see how I rock. I'm going to say the same thing as you. I'm going to say underrated just because I can't say NASCAR is overrated. It's too big of a following. I get why people are into it. Loud cars. It's very difficult driving and stuff like that.
Vroom.
Shout out Danica. Shout out the whole gang. Earnhardt gang. Gibbs gang. Like, I'll shout out everybody. But, like, yeah, I'm going to say underrated.
Yeah.
All right, mine's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Overrated or underrated?
Overrated human being.
Really? The Rock's overrated?
Look, man, he has a fantastic life. I like what he stands for. I like him as a person.
Fantastic body.
I think as an actor, he is a little overrated. I like him in the Fast and Furious movies. Other than that, I don't think he's a fantastic actor.
I think when you look at him,
he's a fantastic actor.
I think when you look at him as an actor, like he's just so big and like prominent. Like it's just you don't see him as a character. Like you just see The Rock out there like doing stuff. It's like, and I can't tell you the names of any of his characters. Like it's just The Rock going out there. It's not like when you have
Joe Kingman.
It's not like you have like best movie. Don't at me.
Game Plan.
The Game Plan is the best Rock movie out by far.
I don't know. I think it's Fast 5.
The Game Plan, bro. When she had the allergic reaction, he had her in her arms, took her to the hospital.
That was a bit dramatic.
That was tough, man.
You can't tell me I'm not hopping in a taxi.
It's tough to watch, bro.
It is tough to watch.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie. That scene, though, that's one of the best scenes out.
You're going to love my next one.
The Rock is a wrestler, though, which I think his wrestling career slept on. I actually don't know my own answer to this. Let me think. He's a brand, though. Under Armour, Super Bowl ad thing. He introduced the Super Bowl.
He's overrated, man.
I think he can't not be overrated, right? I can't say The Rock's underrated, right? I think he's properly rated, but I think I'm going to lean towards overrated. Sorry, bud.
Sorry, Rock.
I hope he doesn't hear this, God. He'll break me in half. All right, what you got for the last one?
Monica Lewinsky.
Oh, my God.
You threw me under the gun when you told me to make these. But
Monica Lewinsky.
Think about her.
Can you start? I don't even know where to start.
Monica Lewinsky and the story of her is actually so underrated. I think people always are quick to judge her and not Bill Clinton. I think she is underrated. I think she was a young White House curator worker who was put in a very tough position. Hey, me and the president just asked me to get it on. That's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Now, if I'm working in the White House and Hillary Clinton comes on to me, I'm stabbing her in the neck with a fork. I mean, but Bill Clinton, if you're a young girl, up and coming in your career, trust me, I don't think it's right. But I think Monica Lewinsky, I think she's been hated on for too long. And a lot of people have not been in her shoes, have been judging her. I think she's an underrated human being.
I feel like we don't have the full story yet. And I feel like in a couple of years' time, I feel like we're going to get the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Yeah. And I feel like it's timed out a little bit to where it's a little like...
Netflix needs to come out with the next
I feel like it's not relevant yet, but I feel like it's going to come back in a couple of years. So I'm going to say underrated because I feel like she's going to have a bounce back. I feel like she's going to bounce back in a little bit.
Good.
All right, well, that's our show. Hope y'all enjoyed. Longest one we've had yet. So if you're still listening, shout out to you. We really appreciate you. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep rating us. We really appreciate y'all. We know we have fans in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida. We have some people in Iowa.
Cedar Rapids represent.
Yeah, we have. So thank you, everybody, no matter where you are. We really appreciate you. Really hope you like this episode, and that's a wrap.
Thank you.
The situations that I grew up in was tragic. I had to hop up off the porch, I had to have it. I seen them dope boys in that Porsche, I had to have it. My shooter birthday, I bought him an automatic. I seen his face, he anxious, he can't wait to blast.